Hello everyone, this is Josia Tamir Crossley here, and I'm wanting to make this short video to talk to you about a practice or a process called, what can be called orienting or basic orienting. Awakening the senses is another way to name it. And it's a really, really valuable practice, something that I teach to all of my clients. It's one of the first things that we practice, that we work with together when I have someone new come into my office. And I think it's just super, super valuable. It's something that I use all the time for myself, and my clients use it, and it really, really supports the rewiring of the nervous system back to a healthy, more fluid, more natural state. And so when we see a deer in the forest walking or eating or, doing what deer do, kind of walking along and munching, right? We see that this deer is very relaxed. They don't hold tension in their bodies. And yet, if a wolf or a dog or even, people being loud suddenly come and startle the deer, then boom, they're gone in a second, right? Bouncing over the bushes to safety. And then, when the deer gets herself to safety, she looks around, right? She looks around the space that she's in. And when she sees and senses with all of her senses that it's safe again, she might give a little shake. And then she comes right back into being totally relaxed, right? So her legs are, just hanging off of her body like noodles. There's no residual tension being held from that experience that she just had. And, she just would start munching and wandering again and eating and, really in a relaxed place that is the most efficient. And so she's relaxed, but she's also always seeing and sensing what's around her, like always listening. If you watch deer, you'll see their ears are constantly moving, right? Tuning to the different sounds around them, always smelling, and, always really fully in the present moment and aware of literally what's happening physically around her. And this way, the deer uses a minimum amount of energy, right? It's the most efficient, um, because she knows that when she needs to move quickly away from danger, she's going to need that energy, right? That energy for survival. And the rest of the time, she's just relaxed, just being and totally aware, right? So when we as humans can start to let go of our mind, let go of our thinking mind, even for a moment, and really come into our senses, we start to become more like the deer, right? So we become totally aware, and also we have the opportunity to be totally relaxed. The eyes are really amazing, powerful organs, because not only do they have the ability to see what's around us, but they are actually directly connected to the brainstem and to our fight, flight, freeze responses. Okay, so have you ever been walking along when suddenly out of the corner of your eye you notice a stick, but it's shaped like a snake, kind of, a little curvy maybe, and it's right across your path, and your body has like a startle response, like a little jump backwards, right? And then like a few seconds later we kind of feel silly and maybe a bit self-conscious because we're like, oh, that's not a snake, that's a stick, right? And actually, the reason why this happens is because our eyes are connected directly to the brainstem and these fight, flight, freeze responses. So before before the information about whether it's a stick or a snake gets through our thinking brain, right? The brainstem, the body responds, the body reacts. The thinking brain is slower, so by the time it had actually processed whether it's a snake or not a snake, we might have been bitten if we didn't have this just innate response of our body to respond directly to what we see before we think about it. Okay, so this is also really amazing because of what it means is that when we look around with our eyes, moving our eyes around the room and or the whatever space we're in, we might be out in nature or we might be on the bus, we might be driving. When we look around and allow ourselves to slowly and directly observe that there are no snakes, no tigers, no aggressive humans or other things that might harm us, this information gets actually transmitted directly to the brainstem. And it tells the brainstem, it's okay, you can calm down, we're safe. You don't need to be responding right in that high adrenaline fight or flight kind of way right now. It's safe enough in this space to relax and to settle. So when we're holding past difficult or traumatic experiences in the nervous system, our brainstem actually gets kind of stuck in this like fight, flight, freeze place, the survival patterning that can be almost constantly on high alert because it's like our brain believes that past experience is still happening now. So when we look around and like consciously give our brain stem the information that it's actually all well in the present moment, when we touch into the present moment in a sensory experience of hearing what's happening, feeling our body on the chair, feeling seeing that there's nothing aggressive coming towards us, it gives our brain this information that all is actually well in the present moment, and we start to change this old patterning and introduce a new patterning of safety, of which allows gives our brain and our whole physiology the information that it's okay to rest right now. So I just want to invite you with me here now to just feel into that for a moment. Okay, feel into this this idea, this sense of considering the idea of giving your brain, your body, your whole being this full permission to rest. It might feel really wonderful and easeful. It might feel familiar, but it might feel unfamiliar. It might even feel uncomfortable, and it might even feel a little scary. But I promise you that, feeling this, letting ourselves experience this a little bit maybe uncomfortable, a little bit different, a little bit unfamiliar idea, directly through the body, through our sensory experience, is a major key to bringing your body into its optimal state of health and vitality, where we have the flexibility and the resilience in our nervous system to react when we need to react, like the deer, right? But then relax when it's time to relax, when we're not needing to be having a big physiological reaction or response to what's happening, right? So the brain needs to know how to relax. It needs to know that it needs to have that part of the spectrum as part of its wiring. So this is a practice that allows that to start to come online again, if it's something that we haven't had. It's a powerful step towards really training the brain to relax and also to be able to respond appropriately to stress, right? Because we need to be able to respond appropriately when there is stress, when there is danger also. So just like the deer responds to the wolf, we want to be able to respond, quickly and efficiently to different stressors in our lives. And just as importantly, we want to be able to quickly relax when the stress is over, so that we aren't carrying that unneeded stress in our bodies, into the time when we're supposed to be sleeping, into the next day, into the next year, right? Year after year. So I really hope that you enjoy this guided sensory awareness practice. I hope that you get something out of it. Thank you so much for listening, for practicing with me. Please share any questions or insights or ahas that you have in the comments below. And really, there's no silly questions. I love getting your questions and your feedback. And know that if you have a question come up, someone else probably has the exact same question. So please don't be shy to ask. You'll be benefiting everybody. And if you have an insight that while you're doing the practice at some point that is probably something that someone else needs to hear as well. So please do share your insights, your aha moments, and wishing you a healthy and peaceful holiday season. May all brains be happy. Blessings.